Hi and welcome to massagetime.co.uk with me, the eccentric healer. Doing a follow-on from my last video regarding cramp, I've had a question from one of my subscribers which was to do with calf cramp and how to get rid of calf cramp. This person is in good health, has been training for years and has put on a little bit of weight during lockdown, but has struggled with calf cramp and hamstring cramp for quite a few years. So the first thing I will say to you is, if you struggle with calf cramp, the first thing you want to do is stop overstretching your calf muscle. Okay? The properties of muscle don't like being overstretched. I can do a follow-up video on what the properties of muscle are that they don't like being stretched. But to begin with, we want to take away the tension from the antagonist of the calf muscle. So that would involve just simply getting onto the floor and stretching the foot. Now, if you can't get your foot in a nice line on the ground and sit onto your heel, that's going to create a lot of tension between the calf muscle and the rear calf muscle, the gastrocs, and the front of the leg, and therefore any time that you are trying to use your calf in tiptoe, in walking, you're going to create a lot of tension, a lot of antagonist tension, and that's going to make the calf very tired. So first of all, we want to make sure that the front of the calf is nice and stretched to not antagonize the calf. The other thing you want to do is you want to exercise the calf muscle. Remember that the calf muscle is carrying the entire body weight as we walk. So as we walk, as we move, as we run, the calf muscle is taking a lot of the weight of the body, all the weight of the body, and therefore it needs to be strong enough to cope with the effort. This is why that calf cramp tends to come on at the end of the day, during sport, during running. We tend to get that contraction. And we tend to get tiredness in the muscle, and therefore when the muscle gets tired, it tends to go into a spasm. It's trying to repair itself, it's trying to close those muscle fibers back up and make it functional. So what you need to do is you need to work on flexibility and strength of the actual calf muscle. When I talk about flexibility and strength, I'm talking for the ability of the muscle to work at all of its ranges. You can have flexibility in a muscle, but it not be very strong at its fully stretched range. So therefore, we're working on tiptoes. Make sure you get those calf muscles to contract, to strengthen up, to create this good functional unit of a muscle. The other way you can exercise a calf is actually to take the gastrocs, the top muscle of the calf, take that out of the equation, little bend, and tiptoe with bent knees. Okay, this will work all the muscles that don't cross the knee going down into the foot. That will help. The other exercise that I like to do is actually push your foot down. Actually allow your calf to contract. Now you may feel a little bit of a spasm, a little bit of a cramp developing when you actively contract the calf muscle. And if your calf is trying to go into spasm, that is telling you that your calf is a little bit overstretched and it wants to reset itself. Okay? So to sum up, don't overstretch your calf, stretch the front of the leg. Exercise the calf muscle both with a straight knee and with a bent knee, and to make sure that you contract the calf on its own, seeing if that will initiate a cramp. If you do start to initiate a cramp, you can slowly release the contraction. Okay, so in this case, we're contracting the calf, and then if I get a spasm or a cramp coming, I can just slowly release, and then you go back into it again, and then slowly release. Going forward, there are other things that will affect how tired your calf muscle gets and what will initiate an environment by which the calf will try to go into spasm, and that is the hip flexors. If you can't get a nice good motion in your hip flexor, when we're walking, as we go through the swing phase of gait, the heel of the calf will be pushed into a stretched position because the hip flexor isn't allowing the body to go back. So it's in this position. So as I move forward, the calf is trying to pull up, and therefore you're clawing your toes into the ground and creating that excessive tension in the back of the calf muscle. That excessive tension is going to tire the muscle, and later on in the evening, when you're sitting down relaxing, it's going to go into a spasm to reset the muscle and produce again a functional motor unit. All this I can explain a little further in other videos to explain what it is that's actually happening within the soft tissues of the muscle, what's going on with the muscle fibers and the tendons, and why it's actually going into a spasm. But try those little exercises and that should reduce the problem. If it doesn't eliminate it, then you could be looking at maybe some sort of circulation issue. Why do I say circulation? Circulation is very important. Muscles don't just use energy to contract, they also use energy to relax. We can see this in cadavers when an animal dies or a human being dies, or when someone dies, we get rigor mortis. And rigor mortis because the muscles are using the energy in the body to contract, but there's not enough energy for it to relax. So we do need good circulation, good oxygen supply, good energy supply to the muscles in order to prevent a spasm. Okay, so there's a couple of things there. So give that a go, see how you feel. Any more questions regarding cramp or spasm, look out, subscribe, and you'll find out more as I upload some fresh content regarding what is going on in the physiology of the muscle during a spasm. Have a great day. Thank you for watching me, the eccentric healer, at massagetime.co.uk.